Hi guys, this is Nishant Kotai and you are watching Game Over Everything. And today we are going to do walking in the world of Yakuza. Now this game I particularly like because of the map size being so small. As you can see here, it is so small. This is where we are, and we will walk this way right towards the edge of the map and then back to where we start, which is this area. So that is why I like the game. It is a small map, yet there are many filled areas, dense areas, which make it feel like a proper city, and eventually you get habituated to it. Now there are these areas which look like you can enter but you cannot. There are invisible walls around this, the entire boundary of the area sometimes. So this street, these streets, when you look at them, there are neon signs all over the place. So sometimes you just kind of get lost, like you would when you enter a new city. So these are the stores which you can just enter and browse something, whatever you want to purchase. So one thing I've noticed, that interiors in these stores are mostly the same, especially the big ones like this. You can walk in there and you can just withdraw some amount from your account and just with it. So these are non-interactable from as far as I played all these games. You can talk to this guy and get your items. So this is where you can buy stuff, and there are various other stores like pharmacies and even smaller shops than this one I've seen in the game. They are more or less the same. Now when you stand over here, you can see the reflection of the world outside, but it is in a less detailed form, if it makes sense to you. So it gives an illusion of a glass, but it is not a glass. I think it is a very pixelated pre-rendered image of the world that's outside that shop. This, as you can see, this is a darker alley. So this is like a back area of the city, and so this is where we are, and this is the back area. So we will try to walk around the edges of the city, and just to give you a difference of how the game feels when you are walking in the main area of the city and when you are taking these back roads sort of areas. Now there is one thing though, some areas are cut off. Now I don't know if we can go there that way, because there are walls at the edge, at the boundary of the map. So as you can see, there are various other signboards, different signboards in the street as well. I'll just try once to see if there is something, if we can walk along the edge. No, you can't. So thought so. So if you find this limiting, then you will be frustrated with the experience that this game gives, because it is mostly about this condensed city, and everything has its limits in this area only. And there are other cities as well. As the main story progresses, it takes you through other cities as well. So it is a hub based kind of area, and I'll just show you how the details are. We can actually zoom in, but the drawback is you have to be stationary. Otherwise, there are many neon signs which are going across. Now the building is not the detail you have seen, and the skybox is also relatively empty. But you can see with just one look around the area, you can feel the difference between the main area of the city and the much darker alleys. And as you can see, there are neon signs on almost every shop. The city also feels alive. Now the NPCs do seem robotic when they walk. Like you can see over there, they are like you can actually make out they are following some algorithm which the developer has programmed. Now it is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is visible here, especially when we are walking slowly, observing them. Just feel like, as you can see, the lady dashed into him and he still kept walking. So these kind of things do happen. and NPCs do kind of appear out of nowhere, but this is just a part of the game which doesn't take away from the experience as much as you think it might. Now these areas you're not able to go, though they do give the illusion that they are 3D or something, but they seem to me like a sprite of something which has been created to look like a 3D version of it. And I think you cannot even enter this. Now see this, even I got fooled by that a little bit. This is quite a cool area. As you can see, the neon signs are lightly reflected on the roads. There is not much ray tracing going on, but it is illuminating sufficiently to give that feeling of being in a neon lit area. This is like the main street, of the city, and you can see the road is now widened a bit, and this is the theater area, as you can see. Now the NPCs are following their own paths, so they don't do anything fancy like I discussed in Mafia 3. In Mafia 3 there were many things, and here you can see that reflection which I was talking about. On this board you can see the reflection of the one behind us, and this side are another set of neon signs. So there is actually some difference, some sort of semblance that you are entering a new area, so that it doesn't feel a Xerox copy or a one-to-one copy of the previous area. Now this actually you can enter. This is like there are various mini games in this area, and this is the Sega Center where you can actually play a lot of mini games. And this is you can see it is like a hub area for people to walk around, wait in. So it all feels like Vivid City, and this is a cool little Easter egg. There is a PlayStation signboard neatly placed in, very subtle very subtle advertisement. So as you can see, there are various boards of what you will find in that building laid outside for you. Now I haven't checked whether all of them do exist. Now as you can see, the skybox is pretty minimal, in fact not existent, I would say. There are no clouds, no stars, but you don't even have to look upwards in this game, because you don't get to, because the story keeps on going, and then you have the side quest as well. Now who is this guy? So you are Kiryu. I heard that you have been a bit of a rampage. Let's see how you good. Why did this guy? Man, I'm doing a video. Please get out. So I will try to keep this, or maybe I'll edit it somewhere. I did not plan this at all. So that guy took a lot of my time. He beat my ass, and I actually died to him. So I'm restarting. I'm not restarting. I restarted from the point where I died. So I need a medicine to heal up pretty quick, because I don't want him to walk like this the entire walking in the World Series that I have just now begin. Don't want to start on this note. And so this is what I was talking about. There are pharmacies where you can buy medicines, and it is actually visible that this is a medical shop, which is something cool. Now, similar to the shop that we entered previously, this also has the similar aesthetics, like a few changes here and there in the shelves. You can see more medicines than what you would find typically in a supermarket. So that is the basic change when you enter a pharmacy shop. Nothing fancy like that, but it gets the job done. You won't even come here more often unless you want to buy these health items. So that is something which I like about the game. There are various buildings which you can enter, but then there are things which kind of take out the immersion. Like you cannot enter some of the buildings, though they look like they can be entered. That is something which I'm sure more games will change in the future. I have personally haven't played Yakuza 6, so I don't know about that. But till 5, this has been the case for the series. And even I haven't played Yakuza Like a Dragon, so I cannot speak for those games as of now. So see, this guy beat me just now, so he's taunting me. Okay. So one thing I'll check pretty quick. from within the shop you can see the reflection, or you can see the view outside from the shop. I just want to check if this is what we see from the inside of the store as well, and do we see it as clearly or not. So I think, wait a minute, I'll just see. So there is this shop here and then a board. Okay, so I like to see how the game world looks from different surfaces, like from a glass. Is there that difference? Now do point me out if it looks exactly. No, this doesn't look anything like the thing that I saw outside. Let me check once more. That is it the same view that we saw earlier? What do you think, guys? I think it was creating a kind of a combined image of whatever we see in this conal vision, and it made a 2D image of that. So I think that's that. Nothing fancy. That I would have loved if they had some proper rendering of that area outside the store as well, but still gets judgment. So this is where we started. We walked this little alley where there was the invisible wall, and near this same point is where I was fighting that man who suddenly appeared. And then we will go ahead and walk around the edge of the map, and I'll also let you know when you can feel that you are approaching the end of the city as well. So there are these subtle hints as you walk. So I pretty much like the lighting. Now these kind of areas is what I was talking about. It feels like you can go there, but you actually cannot. I'll pick this up pretty quick. So from a distance it looks like you can climb the ladder or you can enter this garage, but you cannot. So that is something. If you are so nitpicky about these kind of things, then it will take immersion out of this game for sure. But you won't need to do this much of nitpicking as I am doing, because I am just walking around the map, just showing you around the city. So that is why it comes into notice more than you would when you're playing this game normally. So I'll just check this out. This is a baseball arena where you can just play baseball. So we'll just glance around the area. Let's see how this area racks up according to the other ones. Now the shop wasn't that fancy, so there are some notices on this board, and the textures aren't that great. It looks like a straight up 2D image stuck on the wall, but still it gives that illusion of being 3D image. So not much harm done. This is the things you can actually play these mini games. I don't think in this one, but there is a Sega Center which I showed in the previous minute. These are some cool posters which are done. So at least it is serviceable enough that the things which are littered around in these areas, they do good job of solidifying the feeling that you are entering something or you are exiting some particular area. Those signs, if you understand what I mean. So these things in particular, these vending machines, they do look 2D-ish, if you can catch my vibe, because as you can see, it just looks like a big image which has been coming out, which we used to see in older games. On the sides of these walls there are some images which were pixelated. Even here you can see those kind of ugly blemishes which sort of feel that it is a superimposed image or something. And on the floor is pretty detailed, I would say that, because you can notice some parts of the floor, some designs on the floors are actually faded. So this actually happens when you walk into an older building or some an area where there is a lot of foot traffic. You can see these kind of stains on the floor, and some part of the floor is good, some is not. So this is kind of that dustbin surface was a bit jagged and rough around the edges. But we'll move on and see the rest of the city. Size wise, this city is not doing a good job. It is not a big city, but when you actually walk around, there are a lot of things to do which I like about this kind of a map design, where it is quality versus quantity kind of a deal going on. Now this signboard itself, I cannot even read what is written in there, so the light is pretty lot bright. Now the flooring is high res as compared to the lights, and of course the trees look way bad. I mean, this is like straight old gen. We are talking about early 2000 level of detail right there, but no harm done. I just kind of wanted to point it out in comparison to the walls and other thing. These shrubs and trees look too dated, like too old. What is inexcusable will be inexcusable, because as you can see, even we cannot enter here. Even that plant looks, and these shrubs, look at this tree, look at that wood branch. It looks like it has been placed after every part of the game has been designed, which kind of takes away from the otherwise well done map design of the game. Now as you can see, the NPC variation is also not that good, and you will kind of notice people repeating on as you go past them. You will see these guitar guys variation. Now this is pretty cool area when you consider the lighting. As you can see, this area is only lit by this purple neon sign, but as you notice that the light chosen here is only purple dominant. None of the other lightings in the area is showing the effect on the wall. Only this board is showing the effect. Like you can see, there are other lights also, and it is not shining as far as the scooter. So pretty minimalistic approach to lighting, but it still gets the job done. It doesn't take away from the experience. The fact that I'm just pointing it out now is what is bringing it into the forefront a lot more than it actually is. Now this area is also looking like you can enter, but you cannot, and the details on the car are a bit less, as you can see. So I'll zoom in a little. You can see that it is a bit, I don't know what to say. It seems like an image which is made out into 3D form, and just gives you an illusion of being a 3D model, and you cannot even enter. That adds to that false feeling. But it is okay. It is a corner where you don't even have to go, because it is borderline from prohibited from going. And the feeling that I was talking about, when you enter the edge of the area, edge of this city, you feel like this is the end of the city. There is nothing more to it, and that feeling is kind of good. When you go in a map and you understand, you get the feeling this is the end of the city, or this part is the main area of the city, as even NPCs will be more populated in those areas of the map. And this is some detailing which is at the very least. Now this is evidently 2D feeling. You can see the pizzas on there are low pixelated images, so if you zoom in, it does kind of give that the illusion is gone, and then that believability is a bit suspended. But still, when you just pass by, it gives a good feeling. It just gives that a normal feeling. You're just walking around the city, but when you just walk around and observe it, it kinds of gives away the secret behind it, if you will. Even here you can see pretty hefty amount of neon signs going in, but there is no reflection of those neon signs on the ground, so to speak. And even in the distance you can see those neon signs, but you cannot actually go there because that is the boundary. Now you can see those two guitar guys walking, and even those suitcase guys walking, which have no variation, which have little variation in their bags or in their shirts. So this kind of mix match does go around in the city. Okay, what is this here? So there is no light there, but it is somehow illuminating that little bulb. Okay, so it is like a thin bulb which is used in these kind of symbols to illuminate the signboard of a big hill. So this is something you would see. The blue area in this map is where you can go only if the story allows you to. This is where we were before. This is where I got my ass beat, and this is where we began from. So we have walked almost to the end of the city, and we will walk around this area and then reach back, just to show you the distance, how much I have walked in So this is a wall. This is a wall pretty much where you cannot cross, and that is the Kamurocho Hills building where where the last part of the story takes place. So basically, the plot allows you to go in there, but you cannot go in as per your wish. And these boundaries make you feel like you have reached the end of something. If you can catch my vibe, and that is one good thing about the game, which can be polar opposite for you if you are looking for a much bigger city experience, or if you're looking for a bigger map in the city. So now you can see these kind of buildings also oddly placed in between, which gives that feeling. And this is a training school sort of a thing where they teach you martial arts, so you can catch from the aesthetics itself like what the building is actually about. That is also one good thing, one cool thing about this game. And as you can see, neon signs are everywhere in this city, but are very minimalistically illuminated. Not everything in illuminate is illuminated. And we just walked across, so this is the edge of it. Now we will go to this area, okay, to see what other things it has for us. Now there is also this area which is very even more what do I call it, it's a bit more more small, and it might even feel suffocating for some because it is very short area. But the details in that very small stretch of a land is pretty amazing to solidify that you are in a downtrodden area, and there will be some shady shop around the corner. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to. So let's quickly go there and just let me show it to you so that you can understand me better. Now again, these areas you cannot enter, which do look like it. Okay, so this is where we are. So this is what I wanted to show you. This area is very small and congested as well, and as you can see, the NPCs are following their robotic routes around the area. Now there are many shops in this area which have these small unique signboards on their door outside. And in the background you kind of feel the NPCs walking around, and the little sound of the music, the karaoke music does come in from time to time, which gives you that feeling that you are far away from the happening part of the city. As you can see, there are these little signboards, and the door isn't that well detailed, but this is just because I'm zooming into it. So this is the short area which I was talking about. Now as you can see, there are many vents and those kind of things which are on there to give you the feeling that this is sort of the back area of the city, and you can only come here you cannot come here after dark because only grown-ups come in this area. These are these cool signboards which I was talking about. Syntax error, then there is that thing over there, and then you can actually zoom in and see, and there is the smoke coming out of these vents, which I found pretty cool. They are not pretty high res as you would expect, but they are there to solidify the feeling that there is actual work going on in that building. Another cool signboard, bar outer space. So these textures are pretty much low res or medium res, just serviceable enough for you to you can hear a bit of a music coming out from this, and this is the smoke which I was talking about. So it gives you that impression that there is something which is going on in the building. So maybe the chef is cooking his food, or something is happening, and the city is alive. Basically, that is what it does. So the NPCs pretty much follow their route. They don't do any complex activities as they do in Watch Dogs 2. I observed that in Mafia 3 there are some activities. Even in GTA 5 there have been some complex activities going around with NPCs. But in this game it is not that complex. They do talk a lot. They do react when you push them, that sort of thing. Now this particular area, you can stand on the street and look at this building, Look at the lighting of this building and look at the lighting of this here. It has neon signs, so this gives you this separation of a district, if you will, a soft separation, that this is a different part of a district. You can expect something else to be happening here in this area and in this street. You can see the difference, and that spatial the difference is what I was talking about, which is very impressive in this game. And it is quite subtle. When you just look around, you feel, you don't even know that you are being communicated this to you via these signs, but it actually is there. And that fact is amazing to me. I hope that made sense to you, because I don't know how to quite explain it to you. But personally, there are many good things happening around in subtle ways. And as you can see, this is the cornermost area of the city, so there will be some adult related stops here. Now this particular store I find quite good. You can see that this feels like a wooden kind of a ambience, and this spotlight also feels really unique and stands out from the other shops in the area. And you can see it is casting this name of the shop, Love Heart, on the floor. Now I actually couldn't find the source of it. Now if anyone could help me find the source of it, it will be very helpful. But it is a cool little thing to be added. Now there was no need for them to add this, but the fact that it is there is amazing. And not many people would find this unless they walk this alley. Now, I'm sure they will walk this alley, because this game has a lot of stuff in terms of sub stories, they call it, which we know as side quests. So you will stumble upon every area in the city doing different kind of quests. And as you can see, this pink dominant area is just casting a one single color on the floor. Not pretty complex thing happening here, but just that basic smudge of different neon signs. And here you can see the name of every business that is there inside this building, which we cannot enter, by the way, but it does give you that impression that this city is populated, and that is all you need to know about it. And as you can see, the buildings on the left, they kind of saying that this is not anything where you want to go, this is where you stop. Focus on the right side of the things, on the right side of the street. That is where the game is. So that difference is what speaks out without even having to tell you that this is the end of the street. Of course, there are those in your face signs of invisible walls there to tell you the limitations, but there are even these subtle ones. Now you can see the difference here. Now from the outside, I saw this cashier board. What is this? Okay, so this is the karaoke place. You can sing alone. For now I won't sing, but I just wanted to see, like, what I see inside, can I see it from the outside through the glass? Let's check. Is that perfectly matching? No, not at all. There are some set of stairs which are going outside, and there are two people standing inside, which we didn't see when we were there. So I think it is an illusion. So we have debunked their little illusion right here in my show, in Game Over Everything. So that is something I'll take credit for. See, so this area is pretty much dead, actually. When you think of it in terms of the ambience, it's dead. It is nothing here. It is the dead end of the city. So the neon signs are pretty less in numbers. So it shows that not many people come here for the attraction of neon signs. So there are not many advertisements in this area of the city. Now you can see even in the farther distance, there are these cool neon signs which sort of invite you, but you cannot go there due to the invisible walls. I do not mind them, but I do see criticism in that when people say this game has invisible walls, and it does take away from the experience sometimes. This is some shop you can enter. You can sell all your valuables here. I used to sell everything here and gain money to buy other items as well. So as you can see, pretty much this is a monotone area. You can see shades of brown and beige, which give you that upmarket look. But these things are actually not that detailed when you look closely. So we'll just continue our way. Right, so this is also another aspect of this game which I like. In a second, I'll just tell you in a second. Now this, let's check if you can, the view changes through the telephone booth glass. We saw that in Mafia 3 where the view from this glass is actually translucent, and that was pretty spot on in Mafia 3. It doesn't look like it is the case here because I can pretty much see through with same clarity as I did normally. So yeah, so I was talking about these subways, so there are underground malls in the city. This is the one big mall, but it has connectivity from other subway areas. Now this is a small little Easter egg. You have this AMD signboard in here, so that is pretty good. So as you can see, there are these malls there, so this adds to the verticality of the map, and it helps solidify the feeling that as much activity is happening above the street level, above the ground level, there is also there's the same amount of activities going on in the beneath the street level. So that is a cooler aspect. When you play the game, it gives you that feeling that you are in a city where you can traverse even in the subway and even walk on the streets. So there is this difference in each and every area, which is striking yet subtle in its own way, to give you that feeling of being in a city. This area is looking too white for me now. I'll just see if there is any light source. Okay, so this neon sign on top, I think, let me see. So this is white. So this neon sign is actually what is casting the white, overall white look on this. So sorry, just get out of my way, man. Okay, so this is pretty much minimal level of lighting, which it, I think, averages out the most intense light and just casts that color of light on the floor. I think that is what's happening in this game. So I think we have reached the area where we started. We are just a few steps away from the area, and as you can see, again we are entering a much brighter area in neons, and that was the building which was separated by the boundary. So this forms like a landmark of the city and helps you orient your way around the city when you are lost or something. And when you get habituated to it, you kind of create your own landmarks in the city and use that to navigate to the different parts of the city, which is very cool. In this game you can do it because you can actually remember the different streets of the city. I'm not kidding. So this is where we start the journey in this game, this very point. This is the gate of Kamurocho. This is where you start your game as, and we have reached the end of this walking in the world for Yakuza. And as you can see, this area again becomes a bit well lit, if you would. There are many neon signs here. Again, you realize that you are in a more populated area and a more trade oriented area with different advertisements and attractions. More the neon boards, more attraction it means for the audience. Again, this was the restaurant which we started at. The seafood, there was a big fish above here. Yes, this is the one. So this is where we started our journey of this game, and I hope you like this tour, this little thing that I do on the side. I personally enjoy these kind of videos because along with you, I like to walk in the map as I normally wouldn't do, and enjoy the little details or missteps or point out the little mistakes in the games. Now we all like to nitpick our share. These are the different characters in the game which you play as. This is Akiyama, this is Saejima, you can play as him. This is Haruka-chan, you can play as her briefly. So that is it about this video, guys. Do leave a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, and until the next video, guys, take care and stay healthy.